Why should you be concerned about bike brand loyalty? Life's not long enough to enjoy luxury. Take it from these famous and renowned actors. You name it, and they have all of them. Let's be real, folks. Just seem like men fit for a motorcycle collection, right? Either the long hair or the suave looks, you got it all right. Let's ride with these personalities. Keanu Reeves may have started driving late at the age of 22, but he has one of the most impressive motorcycle collections. In fact, he even co-founded the Arch motorcycle company with cyclist Gard Hollinger based in California. The Arch KR-GT1 motorcycle alone costs $85,000. His collection also includes a 1984 Harley-Davidson Shovelhead, a Moto Guzzi, and even a 2004 Ducati 998, which was used in the actual chase scene of Matrix Reloaded. And let's not also forget to credit his Kawasaki KZ900, Kawasaki GS1100E, and 1974 BMW 750. Gard Hollinger once told the LA Times that one of the things that convinced him to go on his trip with Keanu was that his heart was always pure for the effort. It's not a frivolous project for the celebrity at all. He's really into motorcycles. And he saw an opportunity to leave something meaningful. Keanu Reeves' net worth is $360 million thanks to his many successful projects, the most famous of which revolves around the pure action genre. Why stop when the camera stops recording? When you're a famous actor with a net worth of over $600 million, it really doesn't matter if you're splurging on your favorite hobbies. We are referring to Tom Cruise, the man who owns the most powerful bike on the planet for his 51st birthday. The Virus 987 C34V, which retails for around $103,769, is nothing short of reprehensible and is certainly one of the standout motorcycles in a celebrity's collection. The Italian speed machine, which we marveled at when he left the Chateau Marmont Hotel, can reach a top speed of about 209 miles per hour. Tom Cruise owns a lot of motorcycles, like the Confederate Hellcat, which is about $65,000, the BMW R90 Scrambler for about $12,000, the Ducati Desmosedici RR for about $72,500, the Triumph Bonneville Scrambler for about $10,700, and so much more that it might require a completely separate video about that. If you are both a bike lover and a movie buff, you might notice some similarities between these bikes. Many of them actually appeared in films starring Tom Cruise himself. That's correct. There seems to be a tendency for the actor to love the bikes he rides in his feature films, like Mission Impossible and many others. Troy, World War Z, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What do these movies have in common? You guessed it, Brad Pitt. What's common in Brad Pitt? Money. What does he like to spend that money on? Well, of course, motorcycles. Somewhere at the start of the $70,000 field, we'll give him this Ducati Desmosedici RR, a good $220,000 for an Indian Larry, and the ECOS Titanium Series 20, which is $300,000. That last one is the monster on the road and is not a joke about speed. The Titanium Series 20, worth nearly $500,000, develops over 210 horsepower and is loaded with race-grade features. I have no doubt that he didn't get what he paid for, as this particular model is considered one of the most expensive bikes in the world. It's a bunch of racers and cruisers in the A-list actors collection. There are about 20 that we know of, and each is unique in its own way. However, it's no secret that Brad Pitt likes speed. I mean, the guy who happened to be cycling around Vietnam with his wife on a Yamaha Type R, Brad Pitt is known for spinning his bike around the world. He even got a custom Shinya Kimura and a Ducati Monster, based on the idea that Marlon Brando would pick this bike up today for his iconic movie, The Wild One. The limited edition Ducati Pulse Smart is worth about 15 grand, but what else lurks in the Deadpool actor's garage? Ryan Reynolds is very famous in the movie and is just as loved for his wonderfully eccentric and cheerful personality. Like the first few before this list, he's probably expected to have another large collection of motorcycles, right? Not really. Does what he have reduce his coolness? Absolutely not. It starts with the 1964 Triumph 650, which he called the 9 o'clock gun. This is the beginning of a collection of small but powerful bikes in the Reynolds garage. But hey, let's go back to the Ducati Pulse Smart. This isn't exactly a Lamborghini of a bike, but it certainly has style. In fact, the Reynolds collection has a retro-style car trend. His Honda CB750 by Rocio Motorcycles is about $5,000, and his $22,000 custom Triumph Thruxton is especially tailored for his retro taste. Who do you think has the coolest motorcycles so far? Comment down below. Let's continue. Jay Leno is undoubtedly well known for his car. His car was worth an estimated $150 million, but apparently he had to put in 160 bikes into the mix. Jay Leno has a small museum that is basically full of motorcycles. If they're not all literally part of history on wheels, it's almost that each of them appears to be pulled straight out of the time machine. For example, his 1918 Columbia Pope, 1939 Brough Superior, his Whizzer, his Henderson 4, and so on. The list is growing. Interestingly, he started a huge collection of Brough Superior cycles in the 1980s and paid $5,000 for the 1939 model. One of the things we appreciate about this vast and unique collection is how well he can maintain the condition, as if it's coming directly from the showroom. This enhances not only the visual appeal of these historic bikes, but also their overall value. Once again, it's amazing. The entire Jay Leno collection deserves this $150 million price tag. Vintage, modern, and somewhere in between are featured in Bradley Cooper's wonderfully diverse motorcycle collection. Let's see. One of his most valuable and expensive motorcycles should be the $80,000 BMW HP4. It has a whopping 193 horsepower and is meant to be on a racetrack, but the actor obviously loves to show it off as one of his local daily drivers. Many of his collections include his red Triumph Thruxton, his red Vespa scooter, German KTM bikes, and much more. His biggest vehicle, as most people say, was his Ducati 1199. It happens to be the fastest production motorcycle of its production time, with a top speed of 177 miles per hour and a 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. It's jaw-dropping when you see it in action. You may already know of Cooper's collection of cars and SUVs, but the actor's motorcycle collection is dwarfing them in terms of diversity. You may remember that in some scenes, he and Lady Gaga were driving a Harley-Davidson CVO Pro Street. Undoubtedly, it is one of the times when life imitates art. Ewan McGregor is not a newcomer to his bikes either. His famous bikes include the 1972 Moto Guzzi V7 Sport, the 2000 Moto Guzzi V2 Sport, and the 1974 Moto Guzzi Eldorado police bike, as well as the 1952 BSA Bantam D1. There is a clear trend here. That's what Mr. McGregor likes about almost everything. Some of these bikes range in price from $30,000 to $65,000. Ewan's passion for cycling continued to grow his collection and encouraged him to shoot a series known as The Long Way Round, which recorded his journey on some of these bikes. Ewan and Charlie Boorman travel over 19,000 miles between Europe and Asia. Don't confuse the age of bicycles with the cheapness. The same 1972 Moto Guzzi V7 Sport, which Ewan loves, can be purchased for up to $15,000. And it's a custom model, so imagine a price increase. The 2 cylinders and 62 horsepower may sound small in the car, but it's definitely worth it when fitting it to such a sporty classic. To this day, the former Top Gear star Richard Hammond, despite a scary dragster accident, is a proven aficionado of biking, especially with classics. He's owned everything from a Brough Superior SS100, which comes out between $350 to $400,000, to a 1927 Sunbeam Model 2, the €6,000 1977 Honda GL1000 Goldwing he got at an auction topped the odometer with 80 horsepower at 7,500 RPM. This Honda SNR 125R that travels at 11,000 RPM, and the 1999 Bimota SB8R runs at 138 miles per hour when redlined. In short, Richard has a need for speed. He didn't keep that 1970 Triton 500cc Cafe Racer for very long though. This is a very unique bike with a neat combination of different parts, sold for £10,925. His 2010 Norton Commando 961 SC was probably the most notable purchase in Richard Hammond's history. Nothing beats carbon fiber wheels, looks, and twin shocks. This bike was so coveted that only a few lucky people in the world got it. The Norton Commando supply at the time was bought up quickly, and none other than Richard got his hands on one of those beauties. How much did he pay for it? A solid £16,000. Not too long ago, however, Hammond finally let some lucky buyer enjoy it, as he got rid of it for £18,500 in return. There was nothing that would last forever. Hammond reluctantly auctioned some of his classic bikes to fund the smallest cog, a 2021 vehicle repair series. He sold the 1927 Sunbeam Model 2, 1976 Kawasaki Z900, 2019 limited edition Norton Dominator 961 Street, 1932 Velocette KSS MK1, and the 1977 Moto Guzzi Le Mans MK1. He also sold a few cars and hopes that this venture at the new show will introduce Richard to a bigger and better collection in the future. So, one last thing. If the Neiman Marcus limited edition bike was to be sold at auction for roughly $11 million, who do you think will be interested to buy it first? Please tell us in the comments section below.